Strap yourself in. Woodward per Hipton at available muscular shock.
You're going to ask me?
No. How old are you?
27.
How many kids you got?
Too many.
Wish you were too.
Oh, hey! Dan Schinder here with Simon Wright, the cinder block foot timekeeping machine. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm just trying to get over that intro.
Welcome to Drum Talk TV. Thanks so much for
Nice
taking
to be
time
here.
out. Simon's in town here in Las Vegas playing at Vamped with Dio Disciples, which
Yes.
got the opportunity to sit in on the sound check. You guys sound great. I'm real excited about seeing you tonight.
Cool. Yeah, it should be good. Seems like a great sounding place.
Yeah, it is. It's a cool club.
Yeah, we haven't played it before, so it should be good.
Yeah, it's a good old-fashioned rock and roll club.
It
you know?
looks that way, yeah. Yeah, it's got a certain smell to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's good.
No, not that smell.
Not that
Come
smell.
on, man. Well, let's get to Dio Disciples in a moment, and let's go way back to when you were 13 and you first started playing the drums. Why the drums?
I don't know. It was just something that I felt about them, and I saw like different drummers on TV. There was a show in England called Top of the Pops, and there were bands on there like, I don't know, all sorts of drummers were on there. It's the only channel that played music.
Right.
And I just saw it, and I thought, that looks really cool. I'd love to have a go at that. So I'm just like banging around on the couch and stuff, and
Right.
with like knitting needles or something, bits of wood. And I just thought that'd be really cool to try that.
Right. And I read that your biggest influences are some guy named John Bonham,
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, jump on him. Yeah, he's okay.
Cozy Powell,
Cozy, yeah, he's
and
great.
Tommy Aldridge.
Yes.
Have
Yeah,
you
they're
seen
great.
any of them live?
I have. I've seen Cozy live. I saw him with White Snake. Saw John Bonham at one of the last shows he played in Nebworth, England.
It's 79.
Was it 79?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Yeah. I saw him. That was my first concert. I was 14.
Oh, wow.
And it was at the Forum. It was the day after Keith Moon was there. I was so upset that I missed that. But it was it was amazing to they were two different bands.
Yeah.
You got Zeppelin in the studio that were the Wizards, and then live they were just. It was a whole different thing. And I collect Led Zeppelin bootlegs, and nothing sounds the same thing twice.
No,
but it
that's
all
true.
sounds like them, which is so cool.
Oh, that was a unique thing. I mean, it was like, four musicians who came together and they sounded great.
Yeah.
And a great orchestrator in Jimmy Page.
Right, and exactly.
Wow.
He knew how to write for the members that made up the
Yeah.
band, which I think was part of the brilliance.
It was. It is.
Yeah,
It
I
is.
never saw Cozy, unfortunately.
Oh, he was something else. I saw him in Rainbow as well, actually, thinking about it. 77 with Ronnie and Richie and
Right.
Jimmy Bain and all. And I'll never forget that the solo he did where all the smoke started billowing out of the rise. It was all over the place, and then the riser started moving, and then it kept moving, and it kept coming forward like this, and it was over the crowd like. But this was 1977, and it was like, oh my God,
You know what?
Amazing.
I just had a pre-senior moment. I did see Cozy Powell. I saw him with Emerson, Lake and Powell. That one tour
okay.
he did. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I never saw that.
I was actually in a big car accident on the way to drop off. One of my kids was really little. My wife at the time was pregnant with another. We got broadsided and dropped the kid off at my parents' house and still went to the concert. I don't know, how would you forget seeing Cozy after those
As long as the kids are
circumstances?
okay.
Yeah, kids came out normal, absolutely. And Tommy, of course, has been on Drum Talk TV. I've seen him many times. I've seen him with Ozzy, saw him with Pat Travers back in '78. So,
Oh, wow. Okay.
I always love talking about influences with our guests. And one of my favorite questions to ask our guests, as you know if you follow the show, is what other influences might you have, Simon, that might surprise people given the genres of music that they know you for? Is there anyone that you're really attracted to or that has influenced you or that you admire outside of the realm of the type of music you play?
I have to say I don't think so. And if it is, it's probably underlying and I don't realize it.
Right.
But I've always been lent to loving and liking heavy metal, heavy rock music and that kind of stuff. But I do appreciate what other genres of music do and stuff.
Right.
And there's some good players in a lot of different bands, but I think my biggest influences have always come from like the heavy metal drummers, heavy rock drummers and stuff when I was starting out. And it was just, it's like a solidness that drummers have that I like. It's like a real tight meter that I really admire and like them holding things together, as opposed to just going completely crazy all the time.
Right.
Yeah, and I
That,
think that
makes
influenced
sense.
me a lot. Ronnie influenced me a lot because he was always like, he always had a real steady point of view about music and musicality and stuff like that, and how to dealing with band and all sorts of other things as well.
Right.
And he was a very big influence on me as well.
And let's talk about Ronnie some more. How was he an influence in the realm of the live presentation, of going on tour and doing concerts and the presentation of the show?
Yeah, I mean, I'd been in a band, big band before that, and I'd been on the road with other bands. But he really honed in on the live show. He would make sure that, even songs that he'd been playing, for a big part of his career, which we were doing when I joined and stuff. He'd make the songs change a bit and put them with other songs, and there'd be a medley kind of thing, and really cool segues into stuff. And he was always, making sure that he would sit down with the lighting director and go over the lights and the stage and the set.
He was really into the production aspect.
Every
of
aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he was just a workaholic with the whole thing, and he loved doing it. He was a remarkable man.
Another question I want to ask you, since we're about the same age, 28, by the way,
27.
for everybody.
He's
About
28, I'm 27.
Yeah, we're a couple months apart. He's going to turn 28 soon.
Yeah, happy birthday. Carry on.
I hope this question doesn't sound corny, but I think it's a valid question. What was it like playing in bands and playing with people like Ronnie and playing in UFO and playing in AC/DC that we were listening to when we were in high school, and then a bit later in life, you're in the freaking band, man? What was that like?
A bit like that. I'm in the friggin' band. I couldn't believe it. But they all had different aspects about them, obviously, because they're all different people and it's different groups of people and stuff. But yeah, I mean, you do really stop. There's been plenty of times where I stop and I go like, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Like I played all these big places I played, and stuff.
Yeah.
And because I'm still like a fan. I mean, I like listening to drummers, and I don't go to a hell of a lot of shows because I'm usually playing shows a lot.
Right.
So last thing I want to do when I go home is go to a show.
Right.
But yeah, I'm always amazed and very humbled by the whole thing. I mean, it's like I stand back and I go like, wow, okay, But it's hard work too, It's not quite be careful what you wish for. But all these bands I've been in, it's been bloody hard work. I mean, it's something that you've got to love doing. You've got to get along with people and stuff like that, and make sure that you have the right attitude, or try your best to, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and have the chemistry that works.
Yeah, but I wouldn't change a thing. I've been very, 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 very lucky.
That's great. And a lot of the music you've played is like such fun music. I mean, when I think of UFO's catalog and the music you recorded with them, of course, too. I mean, those tours must have just been great.
It was, yes. I mean, I loved, Strangers in the Night and stuff, and to actually...
That's...
Yeah.
Harold and I were talking earlier. We're like, man, what was the name of that album? We had each had two words, Strangers of the Night. How do you forget that? If you haven't heard Strangers of the Night, because maybe you're young or you've lived under a rock for 35 years, if you want to hear one of the best live albums, get Strangers in the Night. Every song, and then of course you recorded a live album with them as well.
I did. It was on the back end of a studio album. It was a bonus thing, but it was an album and it's out there and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it was just brilliant. I mean, God, I love that band, I love this band over here, and I love that band and stuff. And all the next minute, I'm playing drums with them,
Right.
It's like, wow, so, yeah, it's just been remarkable.
Yeah. When you're not on tour and you're not recording with someone, do you take a departure from playing, or do you work on stuff?
I don't, I must admit. I mean, I sometimes I'll tinker around a little bit and stuff, but I don't. I kind of step back from it a little bit, and
do you find it gives you objectivity and sort of resets you, and you come back with a fresher approach when you do start working with someone again?
Exactly. Yeah, because you get it. Like it is hard work and stuff, and it's a continual thing, and you step back and you just want to. I just take a break for a minute and stuff, and then just reassess and get back to normal.
Because I know a lot of guys,
family and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's important. It's the most important thing, and that's what you get paid for. You don't get paid to play. You get paid to be away from your family, be on the road, and all the real hard work. Yeah, because a lot of people think who haven't done it, oh, these guys make so much money for working 3 hours a day. You're working 24 hours a day when you count the travel and the sound check and the equipment and the appearances and doing this BS with boneheads like me. I mean, it's a lot of work.
No, I was just thinking of something. It's what Charlie Watts said. He said it's like, what is it? I don't know, 35 years in the Rolling Stones, 30 years traveling and 5 years playing.
Right, there you go. Yeah, exactly.
Something like that, but that's spot on,
Exactly. Do you record yourself when you start playing again to sort of listen and see what's changed? Or do you just realize it while you're playing that, like, oh, this is different, or change your setup at all?
I do change it up a little bit, but I know I don't change it enough to where I have to, consciously make an effort to readjust how I play.
Right.
I mean, I'll just add a couple of things here and there and mess with them and stuff, and maybe add a china or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't record myself. It's when I do get home, I kind of really step back.
Yeah.
I think I did in the early days. I used to do that just to see, what was going on. But it didn't really grab me as being something really cool. I thought, oh, this is stupid.
Right.
I don't know. It just didn't get me.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And your kit's beautiful that you're using right now. It looks like a chrome DW kit with black hardware.
Yeah,
that's a cool look.
Yeah, they came up with that. That's really cool, and it was like my idea as well. It's a good kit.
And you're a Sabian artist.
Sabian, Vic First sticks, Evans heads, which are great. I mean, all the companies are really cool that I use, but Evans has come up with these drum heads that are. And when you hear what they are, it doesn't really make sense. But they're on marching heads that I use on my drum kit, even on the snare drum. And you would think that they might be a little odd to tune, but I find them really, and they're because I hit really hard a lot. They withstand a lot of punishment. They're built for that? Yeah. But they've still got a lot of tone, and they still, you can detune them. And
they're melodic still. Yeah, they don't just thump, which I noticed at soundcheck.
Yeah, or you don't have to tune them up way high to get a pitch, So,
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, they are. They're by Evans. They're called MXTs. They're
cool.
Really cool.
MXTs, check them out.
Should check them out.
Yeah, they sound good, trust me.
Yeah.
I read that back in 2009 you worked on a project called The Big Noise.
Yes.
And you and Joe Lynn Turner, it was Phil, so how do you pronounce his name? Susan?
Phil Susan,
yeah. And Carlos Cavazo, went to Iran and Iraq. What was that like? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it was just remarkable. I mean, we did like 6 shows, was it 5? I think it was 5 shows now, come to think of it, around Baghdad at the army bases.
Right.
And all. And,
they must have went nuts to see you
They
guys.
did. I mean, the guy who was in charge of everything said they're going to get really excited about this because there's not many artists, or bands come round.
Right. USO tours aren't like they were during the Korean War and all that jazz.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's a totally different thing now.
Yeah, he warned us, and he was right, because we sat and we signed everything for them, and they told them, they told us their stories, and I asked so many questions trying to find out like what it's like being out there. You know, how do you deal with family and kids, and when you're in the middle of all that, all that stuff. And they're just great people. I mean, they really are. Who serve, and they take all that time out of their life and serve your country. I mean, it's how it stands. It's what it is. It's like a hell of a job.
Right. It's so cool that you guys did that.
It's the least we could do for what they're doing,
Yeah. And I love asking traveling questions. My wife and I travel a lot. I travel a lot for Drum Talk TV. Of all the places you've been in the world, does that place stand out as one of the most surreal places you've ever been to?
That surreal, yes, definitely. Yeah. I mean, we got a tour of Saddam's palace.
Oh, wow.
And we went round and we saw where he built this thing, like a play park for his children. It was just like the Flintstones village.
Oh, really?
But it was real,
Really? I had no idea. Huh.
It was all blown up, and the buildings were all blown up. some real horrible stories too, which which he did. So that was surreal for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, you couldn't believe you were standing there amongst all this total rubble.
Right.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And you're staying busy with Jeff Tate's Queensryche.
Yeah, it's been.
What are you guys up to now?
Well, there's more touring. We finished up just before the Bonzo Bash. We did an East Coast run, and we start up again in March.
Okay,
and
great.
we do some more East Coast stuff, and that goes all through March.
And this is being recorded in February of 2014, just to give you a reference of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Cool.
I drop off the tour because I have commitments to Dio Disciples. We're going on the Monsters of Rock cruise.
Oh, cool.
And then I come back off that, and then I've got a project in Russia that I'm going to do. So it's
nice.
I'm going to be gone a long time, but it's good.
That's great.
You know.
Good to stay busy. And you've played with Rudy Sarzo outside of Queensryche as well.
Yeah, we played with Ronnie together.
Yeah.
We were in Dio together. Rudy is just great, really solid. He's just a great person, and he's done a lot of been in so many bands too as well. And
you know, I'd love to
great.
have him on Drum Talk TV sometimes. Sometimes we have artists that aren't drummers, and we have a series called Perspectives where different artists talk about working with other drummers and rhythm, the concept of rhythms and songwriting, stuff like that. Yeah. And the thing about Rudy is, again, we're about the same age, 27 and 28.
28, yeah.
And when I was in, I think, 11th grade, Quiet Riot played at my high school with him and Randy Rhoads. So that's how far back I've seen Rudy play. And then next thing I knew, 2 years later, I saw him on tour with Ozzy and Randy, which was just incredible.
He's done a lot.
And it's great to see him still out there kicking ass and staying busy. Locking in with you is a great rhythm section.
Oh, he's great to play. He's great to to play with. He's just solid as a rock. He stands there and he watches my bass drum, the air coming out of the bass drum. I mean, it's just like he's just locking in, and stuff. And it's a privilege for me too to play with him. He's such a brilliant musician. Yeah. And he's a great performer too. He's got
great stage presence and cool. Rudy, you got to come on. Give me a call. You come out here to Vegas all the time. So talk about Dio Disciples. For those who don't know, please go through the lineup and explain what you guys are doing.
Well, it all started. I can't remember when it started. It was difficult to decide to get the band together and do it, but we have had Ripper Owens was doing it for a while. A guy called Toby Jepson. They had to move on to other stuff that they'd already committed to, so we had to bring in some other people and stuff. So at the moment we have Oni Logan, and who played with Lynch Mob, and Mark Bowles, who did work with Yngwie Malmsteen and all. So. Yeah, it sounds strong and all, and we just keep. When Ronnie passed away, it was awful. No one knew really what to do. We just didn't know what to do. I'd been in his band for 13 years and stuff. Yeah. And but we just all felt the same way about how we couldn't just stop and not do anything about him. And we had to keep his songs and
the legacy of his music
alive as best we could. I mean, And we sat and thought long and hard about it for a long time, and we spoke to Wendy and stuff, and she could see how we were all feeling, and she thought it was a good idea. So, but we had to talk to Wendy, obviously. I mean, and she said, go ahead and do it.
Oh, that's good that you got her blessing. Yeah. So I think it's great.
And the fans have been great. I mean, they're like, Ronnie's songs bring out so many different emotions in people. One minute they're happy, and then we'll slow things down, and they're very sad and stuff. And it's excuse me. And so it's like a healing process for them as well.
Yeah, and as we talked,
as well, so
and as we talked about at your other interview at the Bonzo Bash, his catalog was so vast and covered so many years that really he does fall into the category of one of those artists that are a part of a lot of people's soundtrack of their lives. Yeah. Because he goes way back to, well, if you count Elf, way back, and then Rainbow, and then Sabbath, and Dio. I mean, there's so much material there that so many people do relate to.
It's remarkable, and all of it is strong. I mean, there's no filler. It's all great, you know.
Right.
I mean,
no fluff at all.
No, I mean even the stuff that I forget the name of the bands right at the very start.
Before
Prophets
Elf?
and stuff. I think.
It was something like the Prophets.
But where it was just chanting and doing the what do you call it, the crooning and stuff.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like Sinatra. It was just like, all them other guys, It was just really a natural, brilliant singer.
Yeah, absolutely. And how much do you know about the Ronnie James Dio Cancer Fund? Is that something you can, and we'll put the link on the screen right here.
Cool.
But
yeah, it's something that Wendy started up, and it's taken over a big part of her life. She continues to work at it and raise funds and make people aware of cancer and stuff, and
great.
Do benefits to raise money and all.
Yeah.
And there's actually a tribute album that is coming out where
great.
all proceeds go from that album to Ronnie's Cancer Fund.
Oh, who's going to be on that?
There's all sorts of people. There's like Metallica, Lizzie Hale, Motorhead.
Oh, cool.
We did a track with Glenn Hughes.
Oh, cool.
When I say we, that was Craig Goldie, Scott Warren, Rudy Salzo, and me, and Glenn Hughes.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
And it turned out really nice. I mean, we played it a lot, pretty much like the way that we used to play it with Ronnie and all. But we added a couple of little bits. But that was the song that Glenn sung at Ronnie's memorial, so he especially wanted to do that.
Oh, nice.
So,
cool.
Yeah, I get goosebumps when I hear it.
Great. I can't wait to get that.
Yeah,
cool.
it's really good, and there's a hell of a lot of great people on there too.
Awesome. Contribute, because I know it's been said a million times, but cancer really does touch everybody in some way. I think knows someone who's been affected by cancer. Certainly in my family. So I can't wait to buy the album and contribute any way that I can. Yeah. In closing, before we go, it's time for a Simon Wright fun fact. One of my favorite parts of the show. So my fun fact question for you is, no, it's nothing freaky. We saved that for Carmine.
Haven't we had enough fun?
Yeah, but now we're going to get factual.
Oh, factual fun, okay.
So in all your travels, what is the one place that when you see it on a tour itinerary, you go, oh, I can't wait to go there because of a certain place you like to eat, or because of the type of food that's there? Is there like a foodie sort of connection to a destination on tours?
I always, I never get to go back there enough touring, and that's Italy.
Really?
Yeah.
The tacos there are great.
The tacos. The burritos are great in Italy. The spaghetti burritos. No, we spent some time in Venice, and it was just amazing. What a lovely place.
Yeah.
And the big open squares and stuff, and yeah.
Great. And what are the crowds like there? Real receptive?
Crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy Italians. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, there's the Spanish too, the German. It's good. They're all great.
Yeah.
It's great.
I think music.
I can't believe some of the fans sometimes. They're just like really.
Well, and I was going to say, I think music in general and the music we've talked about that you've been connected to gets a great reception all over the world. People still love good old hard rock, man.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
It's not going anywhere.
No, I don't think so.
No.
It just because it's always, whenever you go, they're always crazy. They're always there. It's like, it's just that genre of music.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's got some balls and it's got escapism.
Yeah.
And it's got a lot of soul too. You know? It's real.
Yeah, soul and passion, absolutely.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thanks so much for coming on Drum Talk TV again. Can't wait to see you play tonight.
Cheers.
Thank you for joining us here on Drum Talk TV. Check us out on Facebook and make sure you go to our website if you're not seeing this interview on the website and see all other interviews with everybody pretty much. If you haven't seen them on there, they're coming on. So be patient, watch, and thanks for joining us. See you soon.